most of all. You want to kind of get it. You get where God's coming from, and that you've got to warn others. You don't want their blood on your hands or on your head, so you've got to really get out there and do it. As uncomfortable it may be sometimes, we've all got to do our own little part in making this thing work for everybody, not just ourselves, so that we can stand before God with a clear conscience. Okay, but sound economic policy is the way to go. Gradual progress, that's all people want. We want stability. We just, want to inch ahead in progress, but we do need our currency to go up in worth. And the only way to do that is for the cost of living to go down, or the Labor Department to not be deliberately remiss. Okay, do you understand? And we're leaking like a sieve. Our wealth is being taken. The blue collar, working class, working poor people out there, a huge swath of America, of all age groups, all colors, all genders. Okay, they're all enslaved by this. Okay, and you could blame the guys, the bourgeois out there that are making good money, and the status quo, and just the local, typical establishmentarian, but it's not going to help. The problems are emanating from on high. The grand puppeteers, the trillionaire class, and their political sycophants. That's who's really causing the problems. That's all it takes. A tiny, tiny critical mass. But a critical mass is all you need to get the job done. That's the rudder steering the good ship humanity, good ship Earth, and all of humanity that's on that good ship. So understand that we're in it deep, man. We're in a lot of trouble. And that's what I want to convey, is that this is frightening. They're very scary days. Because if Trump is successful and you start seeing the captives being set free through prosperity, we see the worm turn, and we see cost of living deflation, means your money goes up in worth. Okay, there's going to be some angry people, because the trajectory toward death and destruction is not happening anymore for the masses, and they don't want that. So all those people that oppose Trump, remember what they're opposing. They're opposing humanity being set free. I'm telling you, he's a good guy. I believe that. I could be wrong, but so far he's proven himself to be. Look at how the establishmentarians hate him. Good God. I mean, it's as clear as the light of day. It's clear as the nose on my face to me. And it's like, wow. Good God, a bunch of jackals, a bunch of hyenas nipping at his heels. And, we got to step in that fray and, fight them off. Be like the hippopotamus. Even, we say, well, he's a billionaire class and he deserves to be ridiculed. He's a pompous a-hole sometimes and whatever. Okay, hey, nonetheless, okay, he's of our species. Okay, and he's the commander-in-chief. He's our beloved president that we want to continue being our president. And, it's just, God help President Trump. I'm praying. God help the hyenas to back off, man. Relent. For God's sake, relent. Stop it, man. Stop it. Well, this is not going to end well. And I'm concerned about how this thing is going to end. And what the, evildoers have up their sleeves. They're not liberals. They're freaky fascist types against free speech. I mean, that's un-American as all get out right there. Prima facie, man. So God help us. I mean, really, just God help us all, because, there is a lot of blind people. And for all intents and purposes, like Jesus said, they're dead. They're dead to the truth. They're dead to reality. They're the walking dead. They're like zombies. And they need to be reached. You can't give up on them. You've still got to do something to try to jar their caring, their concern, their love for their fellow human being, because it's written that the love of many or most will wax cold in the last days before the end of the age and the beginning of a new age. So that's where we're at. I see it. That a lot of people are having a really hard time keeping any semblance of peace of mind, because there's so much that we're picking up in the airwaves, the spirit of the air, the osmosis, and we're all just imbued with just the bad vibes, man, of a failed system, this crony capitalist system, this Ponzi scheme that is like a big fat giant pimple that's got to erupt, and they keep saying no, just let it grow and grow and grow, and they've got no answer. They're insane madmen that are telling you to do that we don't need to take a fast and step back and eat clean food for a while and purge ourselves from this evil, have a reset of our economic reality and get the pus out. No, we got to stay on this trajectory. That's their only answer. They don't want to talk about, well, what's going to happen when the pimple finally bursts and spews pus all on them too. I mean, no, they don't want to talk about that. No, that's never going to happen. No, we have a purge protection team on Wall Street. We're not going to let that happen. We're just going to let that pimple grow, and all you low lives with not skilled workers, and you automatons, human automatons on your minimum wage jobs. We're just going to keep you down. You're going to be stuck in the pus, sucking pus. Okay. Well, we just keep on building this puzzle. We keep on, you're trying to run in the sand, and we know it's futile, and we're just dumping in more sand to make sure you keep going backwards, and you're never not only able to, keep even Steven in the sand. We're going to make sure that you get pushed back, and that bar gets harder and harder to reach of middle class home ownership, and that nut gets harder and harder to crack just to survive. Utterly failed capitalism, my butt. You call free market 2008? No, you want to call this free market, Alex Jones? Then let's revisit. Let's talk about the implications of revisiting 2008 and having that market correction that we all damn well know should have taken place when housing prices plummeted, when all these homeowners that got in too deep, okay, they were forgiven, not the bankster criminal class that deliberately overextended themselves, being promised they'd be bailed out by their criminal overlords or murderous gaggle of thugs at the very top of this thing, the money printing trillionaire class. Because let me ask you, how much do you owe? How much do you own? How much money do you have in numbers if you actually own the rights to the printing press, the money printing? As much as you damn well want. And that's forever. They hand it down to their perverted offspring, right? That's who's running the world, and they're sycophantic politicos that come and go, that just say, hey, you know what? I get a cost of living adjustment. I can't worry about those dumb masses. They're on their own. Maybe they need to form a union. I don't know. It's their problem, not mine. I don't know that we're giving $50 billion a year to Section 8 housing, and it all goes into the pockets of fat cats like Robert Kiyosaki, Rich Dad, and his ilk, right? That's all. It's causing the wealth imbalance to be even greater. This $50 billion a year. It's sure as hell not helping the poor. And fiscally speaking, it'd be a hell of a lot more prudent to just buy people houses, okay? As much as it goes against your sensibilities, and you say, oh, that's way too liberal. We're not going to do that, even though it fixes the problems, okay? And eventually you can stop paying $50 billion a year to subsidize poor people's housing costs. Do you understand how maddening this is? When your eyes are open, you're awake, and you see this. Oh, my God, this guy knows what he's right about all that he's talking about. He nailed it, man. And nobody else is talking like him. What is wrong with people? That's all I'm saying. I'm just saying, but I understand. I'm not condemning you. I know how mind-effed we all are from birth. Your parents, your peers, your teachers, everybody you come in contact with is small-minded, narrow-minded, short-sighted about these issues. They're compliant. Well, maybe on a semi-conscious, subconscious level, very dangerously, they love their money and they just comply and capitulate. They go to their jobs like good automatons, and they're good servants to their masters, good slaves. And that's the path of least resistance for them. And, they go out and have a beer on the weekends and whatever they do. I mean, you know what? It makes me sick to my stomach to think of what it's going to take to turn this ship around. Trump is really trying, and he started a little bit, but it's got, if it needs to turn 180 degrees, he's turned this ship maybe 5 or 10% max, okay? And they're really trying to stop him from doing any more because they don't want to give Americans an appreciable amount of time to understand that this is good for regular, everyday, working-class, blue-collar people. And by extension, the rest of the world, because this is what we have to do to set the right example, to show them what it's going to take, what you've got to do to get things under control, to have sound economic policies, creating sound money, creating prosperity across the board, and setting the captives free and giving everybody a sense of safety and security. Because we're all willing to serve. If there's a shortage of housing, let's build more. But under crony capitalism, we could double the amount of vacant housing out there, and the prices could double at the same time. So now you're going to call that capitalism? Any form of mutant capital, any at all. There's not a semblance of capitalism in that reality, that horrible reality. That's anti-supply and demand. The absolute opposite results are affected by that. You understand? This is the truth. This is the reality that we're dealing with here. So we've got to work together. We've got to unify true good liberals, true good capitalists. Okay, whatever you are, man, whatever you believe, good, hold on to it. But come together and in agreement that you want the best for everybody. Liberals, you want the best for the conservatives. You really believe that. So be steadfast and hold on to that when it comes to reaching these people. Do it with courtesy and politeness and tact, diplomacy, respect. And the same thing goes for conservatives that are trying to reach liberals. Do you understand? We've got to come together here to be empowered and work against these people by demanding just, sound economic policies. But, so even if something bad happens to Trump, and, I've got to admire the man for his courage. I mean, yeah, I just think we're very lucky to have Trump. I really do. And I don't understand people that hate Trump. I don't get it. I just don't. You are freaking me out, man. Like a bunch of demonic, hyenas that just look human. I mean, that's what it's come down to. I got to put all you on a shelf. You're crazy people. You're deluded. You're deceived. You're demonic. I'm sorry, but I don't get it, man. Just because the guy's a multi-billionaire and he can act like a pompous a-hole at times, so what? Who can't? We're all genius in some ways. We're all wonderful people, and we're all a-holes, and we're all dumb as a box of rocks in other ways, right? Who could say that they're perfect all the time, that they don't say stupid things? Read chapter 3 in the book of James. Okay, we all do. The tongue is a restless evil. Because it starts because we think the wrong things. So inevitably, it's bound to come out our mouths, and we're going to say stupid things, and we're going to behave in stupid ways. So we need God. Again, we all as individuals. It's your psychiatrist, your therapist, your counselor, your psychologist, whoever it is, family member, friend. They're not going to be able to help you like God is the only one. God is a jealous God, and he's jealous that you're going to try to get help externally when you need to go inside. You need to get on your knees, on your face, okay, lay prostrate on the ground, and prostate is, I get the prostate gland and the prostrate, on your face, whatever, the one where you lay on your face. But, this relationship is very important to have. And I'm not sitting here acting like my relationship isn't rocky with God. I'm weak, I'm feeble, I'm pathetic, and God knows that. And, sometimes I feel like he's way too merciful. I don't deserve his grace and mercy. And maybe he'd be better off just to abandon me and, stop picking me up every time I fall on my face. And just let me, lay in my own puke or, lay in my own wretched bed that I failed to make for 10 weeks in a row. Okay, whatever it is. Sometimes I feel like that he ought to just forsake me. But he doesn't. I mean, here I am standing. I'm still speaking. I'm not in jail. I'm not, I'm not under a bridge. I haven't done any heinous act. Okay, I'm still, a guy that's got some semblance of love in his heart for his fellow man, and I just want the best because I see it as clear as day that your welfare is my welfare. Look, if I had my way personally, okay, this is what I say, and I talked this over with God, but he knows where I'm coming from here, and God put this in my heart. So it's not like I'm so great, and I'm not virtue signaling. I'm just saying, look, if my situation, as humble as it is, okay, in terms of material possessions, finances, okay, as humble as my position is, and that's all relative, it's all subjective, because I am rich compared to some people in the world. Probably on a scale, I'm richer than half the people in the world, even though I'm dirt poor if you put me on a scale of Americans. Okay, so I'm at the lower end then, the 10% or whatever, of low end, 15, 20%. Maybe I'm somewhere like that, but I still have a great sense of freedom. But whatever I have, okay, I talk to God and I think, you know what? I feel like a spoiled brat. I feel like I'm ashamed, okay? Because what would make me happy, okay, isn't to be rich. It isn't to have a lot of materialism. Okay, it really isn't. I know. I figured that out. I can see the end from the beginning. I can imagine driving a Maserati and living in a mansion in Beverly Hills and everybody thinking I'm somebody and being on TMZ and I'm a rapper or I'm something or other. I mean, yeah, I can understand that and I can romance that for a while. That's seeing the end from the beginning, but I can see how unfulfilling that would be for me, especially in light of knowing the deeper wisdom out there and what's really important, what's really valid and valuable and relevant and important to my soul and to true happiness. That's caring about others. And in that case, I talk it over with God. And I say, God, you know what? I wish everybody on earth, this will make me happy, God. If everybody on the face of this planet had it better than me, financially speaking, materialistically speaking, now that, God, will be a time of rejoicing for me. Okay? I will really be happy if everybody is more free, more secure, more prosperous. Do you understand? That, my friends, would make me happy. Okay? That's when I would say, hey, you know what? Maybe these vices I've had, and this escapist behavior I've been engaging in with this vice, or this besetting sin, or that indulgence, or that form of escapism, this metaphorical slashing of my wrist, self-flagellation, whatever you want to call it, indulgence and pleasure, okay, whatever. Maybe that stuff will seem ho hum, and it'll just dissipate and disappear